We wouldn't be walking into Bunnings without this brand.
And how many times a week do you play golf, Billy?
More than I should. Probably more than I should. Touch wood, we've done over 100 castles last year.
Yeah.
Wow.
We've not had a single incident.
So at the moment, I've got bookings right up until December.
Wow.
But that'll probably change quite quickly. I think we usually, from about October onwards, we're like absolutely flat chat,
Really?
right into January sort of things.
So welcome to the Gyms Group podcast today. We've got an exciting newish division, which we're going to go into a little bit about it, but it's the fun division. So it's gyms, jumping castles and party hire. I've got Chantelle and Billy who've come down to our training as well. You're currently franchisees. Now you're becoming franchisors as well, which is something we'll get into as well. But first, let's start off with a bit about yourselves and how did you get involved with gyms?
Do you want to go first?
No, well, I can go first.
Yeah.
Basically, we work full-time and we were looking at something that we can do on the side as an extra revenue, not to take away from our full-time job. We did some Googling, we did some look around. We both have a background in hospitality and event management. So it's like, well, what can we do that isn't going to take all of our time but still be fun to do on the weekends and not feel like you're doing work? We did some Googling and jumping castles came up. We did some look into it and it's quite an expensive area to get into independently because of the insurances. And then we found out that gyms was doing it. So we reached out to gyms, got some information, and it just streamlined the whole process for us. And it was just really easy to get into compared to sourcing our own manufacturers to get castles made and, trying to build a brand that, it was just easy.
And you mentioned you're working full-time still and you're doing this on the side, or how does it work now?
We're not anymore.
Okay.
No.
So full-time.
Yeah, so we actually, at the end of last year, we decided to take a bit of a break because this was really ramping up and it was getting really busy. And we had never taken a break to date from our full-time jobs. So we got married, we went on a honeymoon and then came back and decided to kind of take this in full stead. And we basically sort of turned it into full-time work equivalent, essentially. So, it's been a marvellous journey. And so I think, we will look to get back to some sort of part-time work probably, just to, keep that kind of going and then have this again as more of a sort of secondary income. But we have at this stage been able to build it up to something
Supports
full-time.
the two of us.
It does, which has been great.
That's great because I remember we were talking about when the division originally launched, it was more of a plan, like, work a full-time job, as you said, and then on the weekends you could do this for some extra money as well. And that was a really unique division for gyms because that's not normally the case.
Exactly.
So it's probably the first division where someone's been able to do it as a true side hustle on the weekend. You keep their full job if they want to do it that way.
Exactly.
I think the beauty with this division is the fact that you can choose your own journey. So if you want to go full-time hardcore and you've got the passion and the time, you can. Like, that's basically what we did. We started day one with 3 jumping castles, a slushy machine, a popcorn machine, and a fairy floss machine. And within 12 months, we've quadrupled what we have. So we currently have like 10 castles. We've got multiple slushy machines, multiple popcorn machines, and we're fairy floss machines, chocolate fountains, which brings me on to a thing with this division is that you have the flexibility to expand out of the normal remit. So like we have the ability to, if you want to go and do balloon decorating, and that's something that you can do because maybe the castles, you only want to do smaller castles, you have that option. So it's fantastic for us. Like, you've started doing face painting, I do balloon twisting, spray on tattoos and things like that. There's endless in this area where we can go as long as it's safe and we can deliver a high customer standard. It's really endless.
That's a great point what you make, Billy, about even though it's called jumping castles and party hire, and the party hire, as you said, there's so many services that you could do under that. As you mentioned before, you got face painting, you said tattoo. I know I saw John with a pony before, and then there's a unicorn dressed up and stuff. So
I don't think he gets to keep the pony.
No.
You had to get the pony back.
Not a free photo.
Yeah.
but as you said, you've started off with this smaller operation. Now you've expanded to this, and you can offer all these different things under the gym's banner. You're not really restricted at all, really, for what you can do.
No, and we've got a lovely lady who's coming on board. She's actually here doing her training today. She wants to go into soft play. So because she's got a young child and she goes, I'm in all these mums and bubs groups. 1-year-old birthday parties are hard. So she wants to do the really small jumping castles, for the baby showers and things like that, and the ball pits and stuff. So if you want to go and do it and we can provide it safely, there's nothing stopping them from doing it.
What's the reaction been to you guys compared to, let's say, because obviously there's a lot of independents, I would say, in this sort of area. I don't think there's really any national or any sort of big brand.
No, there's definitely a lot of Facebook operators.
Yep.
I think the response that we've got from probably 90% of our customers is, you answer the phone, we know you're safe. We know, but we know that your castles are built above the Australian safety standard. You know, safety is such a big part of what we have to do.
Yeah.
You know, we've got all the public liability insurance. You know, we're all police checked. We're all working with vulnerable people cards because, you know, we're around kids, and we've got to make sure that we're delivering a safe product. And people really value that, you know, and also they know they've got someone to fall back on. If something, they're not happy with the service, they can call the National Call Centre and they can lodge and say, hey, this wasn't right, or, you know, and we can fix it.
Yeah.
But when you've got these independent operators, you've got Terry who owns his local bounce place. If you're not happy with what he does, you've got nowhere to go to. So I think the trust that the customers have, especially with the brand, I mean, we do a lot of work for places like Bunnings, because obviously the Gyms Group have a great partnership with Bunnings. So they use us in their stores because they're like, you know, we know you're going to deliver what we need you to deliver. We do government work.
Yeah,
you know.
I was going to say, we've also been able to attract all of those corporate clients as well. So as franchisees, it's been amazing to be backed by the brand, because that's just something you'll never be able to get.
I should ask you about that. So I've seen your photos in the Bunnings store, which is fantastic. And you mentioned corporate clients. So what type of things are you doing for corporate clients?
Yeah, so we've got ACT Gov. We've become a supplier for them, so we're actually in their system now, which is great. And some federal departments as well, for federal government departments.
They need some fun. Are they getting the jumping castles for themselves? Are they?
Yeah, they certainly are.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
so we did a job just at the end of last year for their like Christmas family event at HQ Jock. We've been to Defence, we've done some work for Defence, ADFA, and then a lot of the universities as well in Canberra we've done quite a bit of work for.
Okay.
And then also, you know, of course, you know, schools, ushers, you know, daycare centres, all that sort of thing. So, yeah, it's been amazing. The clientele we've been able to attract has been fantastic, but that's all because of the brand.
Yeah.
So
we wouldn't be walking into Bunnings without this brand. There's no way that Bunnings would trust a random operator to go, come into our stores. And I don't know, we can probably put a picture up of our setup. It's impressive. You know, it looks good for them as a store to have someone that they trust, which, you know, also helps the fact that we're part of the group. Because, you know, they do look after us as well when we want to buy something. So it's good that we can give us money for a change.
Absolutely.
You know?
And I was going to say as well, the safety aspect you mentioned before is obviously because of an incident. There's a lot more in people's minds now, and also the trust around young children and something like that. And I think, as you said before, the brand just would hold so much weight with a customer who's a bit unsure, as opposed to these other, as you call them, Facebook operators. You know, because it can be quite, who is this person?
Yeah,
I don't know who they are, all that sort of stuff. Like, where do you go? Whereas now with gyms, they've got a really good trusted brand where they can go and don't have to worry about that sort of stuff. Is what I sort of get the sense of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Even to the way that we secure our castles down, so we don't use giant tent pegs. Our anchors actually screw into the ground. Our castles have 14 tie-down points in them, where like most castles in Australia have between 4 and 8.
Yeah.
So it's just well above the standard. All of our castles have got like self-closing doors, so kids can't fall out. They've really when they've designed these castles and had them custom made for us, they really have gone and done their homework. Yeah. And they are just an amazing product. They look spectacular. You know, we've got, you know, if we were just starting up, you'd have 3 castles. And you go, well, 3 castles, it's not a lot. But we can change the theme on our castles. So actually you've got 20 castles, but you've only bought 3.
Okay.
So
so it's very versatile.
Yeah.
And things like we've got like a happy birthday theme, which we can customise with children's name and their age. And that's been pretty cool too, to see the kids' faces when you're putting their name on the front of the castle. They just light up, it's pretty cool experience.
And can you talk about the safety standard just because I'm a lay person, I want to understand this a bit better, because you mentioned something there, because I've been to a few parties, and as you said, I'm thinking, oh geez, they've only put 4 pegs in the side, and there's no, and you mentioned a thing like a safety door and stuff. So what should let's say if someone's looking at a party, what actually, from a safety consideration point of view, should the person know that they should have, or that actually is available to them for jumping castles or for some other things there?
Mainly for us, look, I believe that we have the safest castle on the market, full stop. I spend a lot of time now, unfortunately, looking at other people's castles when I'm going down the shops, or if I go past someone's event, you have to have a sneaky look. And just the way that the castles are anchored to the ground, the anchoring systems we use, like I said, they basically look like a big carrot, and they screw into the ground. We have a giant impact driver that literally drives them into the ground. They go in about 30 centimetres. Okay. I've seen these ground anchors pull four-wheel drive cars out when they've been stuck. They are solid into the ground. So the castles aren't coming up. Obviously, that's the first question we get asked because, unfortunately, there has been incidents where people haven't done the right thing. And that's why we're so safety is everything.
It's paramount. The other thing as well, though, is we've got anemometers as well that we give to customers to measure the wind speed, which, again, sets us apart from everyone else because I don't think I've seen anybody else do that. So we've got strict guidelines about monitoring the wind over the course of their hire. And, again, it just instills in the customer's mind that, this is actually really safe. You've gone above and beyond to make sure that, I'm getting the best and safest experience.
And you mentioned the gate as well.
Yeah, so we've got self-closing doors. Okay. So on the front of the castles, when the kids go in, they have to actually lift up the door. It's basically got a string in it that pulls it back down, so the kids physically can't fall out the front. Or the adults, because they are rated for adults.
They are.
We've done some awesome 21st birthday parties.
Yeah, and 40th birthday
and 40th
parties.
birthday parties too. So they are really designed as a safety was paramount when they did build these, because obviously they looked at what was available in the market and they went, look, we just need a better product, and I do genuinely believe we have a better product.
I think everyone's seen some kid fly at the front and hit their head or break an arm or something like that, or an adult gets drunk or something and falls out and does the same sort of thing. So
exactly, that's right.
Touch wood, we've done over 100 castles last year.
Yeah.
Wow.
We've not had a single incident.
That's unreal.
It's the way the castles are designed is that
they're super safe.
They're super safe, but also what we've noticed is because the type of customers that Team Gyms seems to attract, they're very attentive of these are our rules, and because the briefings that we go through and go, look, these are the points where we feel if someone's going to hurt themselves, this is what you need to look for. Don't have 20 kids in the castle, someone is going to get hurt.
Yeah.
And the parents go, oh yeah, and they, we to date, like I said, we've never had any incidents. So it's been really good.
That's awesome to hear. And I was going to say as well, with your plan, what do you hope to do? So you've been doing it as a franchisee for a while now, and you've obviously done more than 100 castles, as you said, which is a lot of jobs. Yep. What is your plan then for yourself with the division?
Yeah, so I think we definitely want to expand our remit and what we have available. So we've got some larger inflatables that are coming towards the end of this year, which will be exciting. And then, the long-term plan for us is to become franchisors and buy territory and have people under us so we can sort of get into more of that business management and supporting others to work their dream. So that's sort of our long-term goal. But we love what we're doing. It's amazing. So.
And why should someone be a franchisee then? What would you say to them, or who should be what type of person would suit being a franchisee in the division, and what sort of things would you look for?
Okay, I can answer that one. Yeah, of course I can. I can answer that one.
You're great.
I genuinely think anyone who is looking for something that can be what they want it to be. If you just want to make, if you just want to do a few jobs a week, the systems are set up there that it's still affordable to just do 3 castles a week. You're not going to make an earth-changing amount of money, but you're going to make enough money to be a significant increase to what you would make working a 9 to 5. If you want to take it into bigger things, it can be whatever you want it to be within that party space. Like I said, we had the idea of starting this, and we would be happy if we were making $1,000 a week. I think we made more than that in our first week.
Yeah.
And we haven't, so it's been consistently, it's supporting 2 of ours wage on one franchise. So it's, it just depends what you want it to be. And I really like the fact that we're not restricted on what we can do in this space. If we want to go and, like I said, do other things in that party space, we can. As long as it's safe and it's to a quality that Jim would be proud of. Yeah. It's really endless. So Like Chantelle said, we're hopefully going into larger inflatables, so like giant obstacle courses and big bungee runs for big corporate events, because our clients in Canberra are saying that's what we would like. So that's that's what we're going to move into. If you're in a rural area, they're happy just to have someone offering the service. We're in Canberra and we go all the way down to Goulburn because there's literally no one in the area. So we travel an hour and a half to get there, and there's enough work there to make the trip worth doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just options. But
so if you want to do it full time, sort of like you obviously have the weekend, which is like maybe your kids' birthdays on the Saturday and Sunday, and then during the week you might do a couple of those corporate events. Is that sort of the way you're sort of structuring at the moment, or?
Yeah. Exactly. That's it. So and then I think too, the work that you can sort of cover off in those sort of 3 days, it can be sort of full-time equivalent, but then that opens up options to do so much other things in the week, which is great for flexibility and work-life balance. I think is brilliant. So I
don't think I've played as much golf as I have in the last 6 months.
Well, how does the week currently look for you then?
So we start dropping castles off and doing stuff on Fridays. So because most people will book for 4 hours, but some people will go, hey, can I have it overnight, or can I have it for a longer period of time? It's like, of course you can, because that makes my life easier, but you feel like you're getting more for your hire. So we drop off on Friday. Sometimes we pick up on Mondays. On average, we do about 6 castles a week.
Okay.
So usually about 4 on a Saturday and usually a couple on a Sunday. And a lot of our stuff as well is operating our machine. So like the corporate gigs, they want us to go there and make the fairy floss and hand out the popcorn and engage with the kids. Like for Bunnings, they really like that. But also for corporate parties, they're like, look, I've got all care, but we want no responsibility. So can you stand there and supervise it? And of course we can. I'm going to charge you for it. But, then from a customer's point of view, they go, I don't need to worry about it. And if something goes wrong, I don't need to worry about it. We've got the best that can do this for us right now.
And how's the lifestyle been for you?
Amazing.
It's been amazing. Yeah, we've been able to, even just being able to travel, going to some of these regional areas and with our shirts on, representing the brand, and meeting people has just been incredible. Like we've met so many amazing people. I've literally had people that they're just always so happy to see you, and they've run up to me and like big hugs and all that sort of thing. So yeah, that's been incredibly rewarding.
Yeah. How many times a week do you play golf, Billy?
More than I should. Probably more than I should. But yeah, I mean, it has been good. Like genuinely, no one's ever sad to see us turn up.
No.
How can you be in the shirts? Exactly the colours.
Exactly.
No. Yeah, but it's gratifying. Like as in certain divisions, everyone's providing a service.
Yeah.
But we bring in the fun, and people are just genuinely happy to see us, and just also the relief that of I know the party's sorted. You're here on time, everything's clean, everything's well maintained, and it's just delivered amazingly. And that's what we're looking for, some more people to come and carry that on, because we're just really struggling to get more people, like quality people that actually want to jump on board, because there's such an opportunity out there right now.
Absolutely.
For people.
I love that title. We're bringing the fun. That should be the name for the division.
That's
the title for the division. But we've got this piece of paper here, so nice segue into that, is about unserviced jobs. So we've got a system here called FMS, and we print out a report, which is the unserviced leads. So this is actually from our system from the start of the year. So maybe Billy or Chantelle, you can read this out about the number of unserviced leads from the start of the year for the division.
Absolutely. So we've got a total of 678 unserviced leads.
That people have called up, they want to jump in castles, and we couldn't do it because there's no one in the area. And that's it's quite a shame, because there's obviously that much demand, and you guys have obviously generated a lot of this unserviced work. So they've probably seen you around or had a good experience, and then they've called up and no one's available. So it's a pretty massive number.
It's a huge number.
It really is. I mean, even just last night, we were out in the community, like locally, just getting dinner and doing a few bits and pieces. And we had so many people coming up because we were wearing our shirts, and they were just like, oh, jumping castles? Is this in this area? Like, we don't have anybody. This is great, you know? And so I've said, we've got someone coming on board in Melbourne shortly, and which is great. So, there's so much demand out there. We just need the people.
Well, I think it's, as you said before, I think it's a bit of a gold mine, because as you mentioned, like, you got your Facebook operators, and it's a pretty niche sort of industry, and I think, that'd be like very territorial and sort of just like, that they run their own operation with not much oversight really, whereas you got, you guys, whereas there's like 600, and it's amazing, like 678 unserviced leads already. When there's only yourself really, and operating is quite remarkable actually. So,
it really is. Yeah,
they've done really well with our online presence, especially because we've been running for so long, and we had that shutdown period.
Yeah.
The websites and stuff were still running, so our Google analytics are amazing. Like we're always coming up in the top 2 or 3 in Google searches in the areas where we're putting them, because the website's trusted on Google because it's been there for so long, and stuff. So we get amazing click rates and stuff through the website, and our presence. The website looks amazing, and they just it's there when people search for it. It's a trusted brand. It's a great name, and our trailers look like a giant jumping castle. So people just,
kids love it.
We'll show a video of the trailers. We've got a lot of your trailers, but the trailers look awesome. We've done a video of Jim here, so I know what they look like. But so what's the actual setup though? If someone becomes a franchisee, with you guys, is the setup what they get? Obviously, you've got to do the training. Do they get the trailer with a couple of castles, or what's the setup you get when you first start?
Yeah, that's it. So for franchisees that are coming on board currently, we're offering like a $0 lease on the trailer for 2 years.
Yep.
So it means that they can hit the ground running. They don't have an additional out-of-pocket expense, which is really fantastic. So they can just start up straight away. And the startup package comes with 3 of our standard customised jumping castles, which are the large ones. They've all got an internal slide, basketball hoops on the outside, so lots of features. And then, of course, all the equipment that comes with those castles. So, and your first year insurance as well is covered in the startup pack.
Yep.
So a lot of the work has sort of already been done, and they can hit the ground running and be ready to go.
It sounds like a no-brainer. Like I know a lot of franchisees want their partner or something. A lot of the time wants to get involved, and I think this is a really good one because they can do it on the weekend, and it's not a full-on as massive investment as buying a second franchise in another division, for example. Whereas with this one, it seems like a perfect side one to add on to their existing franchise.
Anyone who's already in the group, and it is good. Our fees are low because it was designed to be a side hustle. They appreciate, if you want to make it your full-time job, you can if you've got the demand. But they know probably 90% of people won't. But then that's one of the best things about it. If you're already in the gyms group and you go, well, my main work is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I don't do anything on the weekends. It's something that can be added on. We can dual brand trailers. There are options out there for anyone who wants to come on board.
We've had some people as well say, they're interested in getting on board and then getting their sort of teenage kids involved as well. So it's it's a trajectory plan for the future for their families. Something that they can pass on to the next generation. So.
Well, I definitely think it's a really exciting one. I just think the unserviced leads, as I said, is amazing for for how many people in the division. That's from the start of the year. That's not 3 years. That's from just the start of the year alone. So it's quite amazing in the numbers that are there. And how busy are you guys overall? You booked up? How far in advance are you booked up, or how does it all work?
So at the moment, I've got bookings right up until December.
Wow.
But that'll probably change quite quickly. I think we usually, from about October onwards, we're like absolutely flat chat, right into January sort of thing. So so that was our experience last year, and I think it's definitely ramping up again for the summer season, which is exciting. So I think it's only going to get busier and busier.
How many bookings do you do a week?
We do on average
6 to 7, probably.
Okay,
as a minimum.
Average. Yeah.
I mean, our busiest week was the week before Christmas, and we did, I think, $4,500 in 1 week.
Wow.
That was over 4 days.
And how many hours do you reckon? How many hours do you reckon you would have worked for that?
Probably about 10 hours a day.
Yeah, probably.
Probably about 4. So probably not
Standard
much
week.
more than standard working week.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that's because it's Christmas week. Everyone's got Christmas parties. And people are hiring the equipment. I mean, we're lucky we could do that because we took the initiative early and went, we've booked out this equipment and we're still getting phone calls for it. So we went and bought a second one.
Okay.
We were lucky enough to be able to do that. We've scaled really quickly because the demand's been there. And we've really put most of the first 6 months, we really put all the money we made back into the business because we were working as well. So we looked at it as, we don't need to live on this money. We can just keep reinvesting into the business until we get to a stock where we fill up the garage and we go, well, it's either buy a warehouse now or stop buying stuff, Billy.
We're pretty close to it.
But a quiet week for us, genuinely, if we make under $2,000 a week, we're doing something wrong.
Wow.
Like, it really is.
Now, when you say that, is that is that 3 days to get that, or is that 4 days, or what's the...
Probably 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's 2
yeah.
days.
So that's,
and usually, but we work on, well, I do, where if we can drop some stuff off on Fridays and pick some stuff up on Mondays, it makes my weekends easier.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's grateful for it. You know, like no one, if you've booked a 4-hour castle and I go, hey, don't worry, I'll drop it off on Friday for you, and you can keep it until your party finishes on Saturday afternoon.
Yep.
They go to me, that's amazing. How much more do I need to pay? It's on me. And everyone just remembers that and stuff. So I mean, you can't do it to everyone, but if it's going to make my life easier. You know, and that's what we'll always do the best.
And what about, let's then talk about training. So people might go, I like the sound of this, but I don't know how to set these things up or what's involved with it. So maybe, we're obviously at training week now, so we have the 3-day generic business training, which is here.
Yep.
But let's talk about the division-specific training. So what's the stuff that they would do?
Yeah, so the franchisor will come down with all of the equipment and basically spend 2 to 3 days, maybe even 4, depending on sort of like how much ground needs to be covered. Because obviously if we've got people that have come on board that have got some prior knowledge of maybe doing jumping castles or other things, you know, we'll sort of touch basis on, you know, the most important parts. But yeah, we take you through how to set everything up, how to dismantle the machines, set the machines up, all of that sort of thing, right through to, you know, putting on the trailer and connecting the trailer and towing and all of that. So yeah, basically everything that they need to know will be covered off on in all of that training.
And from a customer's perspective as well, how does it generally work? So they want to use you guys, they call up a call center or they chuck in an online lead. What's then the process for them? So lead comes through, you don't want to walk them through the steps.
Yeah, so lead comes through, and my biggest recommendation is that you call like immediately, because that's the biggest guarantee to obviously getting that work. And so yeah, so call immediately, and then you know we talk through what we have available and what their needs are, and then I follow that up with a quote and photos of everything, like all the themes and that they get to choose from, and yeah, we personally don't take deposits, so that makes the process even easier for people, so they can just make their booking, and then we go back with a confirmation email, and and then I keep in touch right up until the delivery day, and obviously on the delivery day we send a message when we're on our way, and then a nice message at the end as well to say thank you for booking with us.
And what about the setup times, Billy, from your end? How long do they normally take?
So a proper setup, which is complete rock up, set up, do your time with your customer, should be about 45 minutes.
Okay.
So, and a pack down is about the same. So you're spending about an hour and a half with that customer, in general. So yeah, it's we arrive, we walk in, we say hello, we scope the area, we do our normal safety checks, make sure there's no overhead power lines, check to make sure there's no doggies have left any presents for us, and then we go and grab the castles. We put down a ground mat so that the castles aren't directly on the ground. Keeps them clean, keeps them looking nice as well. And the way that we train is that the castles are rolled in a way that we just connect the blower, turn it on, and it unpacks it for you.
Okay.
So one of the wonderful things is, and the way that the training is delivered, every point of what you need to do from start to finish is touched. You're supported every step of the way. Yeah. Everyone's available. I'm always on the phone if anyone ever needs any help. So is all the other divisionals and any other franchisee. We're a really close group. We've got a great group chat. People throw ideas about things they want to bring on. So yeah, we really do try to make it as seamless as easy for the customer as well. The castle's usually up within 10 minutes of us getting to the person's property.
Oh, wow.
And the rest is securing it down properly and going through the safety stuff with the customer, taking that 10, 20 minutes with the customer, walking around the castle, showing them the anchor points, showing them the self-closing doors, showing them how to use the wind measuring devices, going through the safety signs, because every castle there's a proper safety sign there. It just really instills that confidence that we care and we take it seriously, because we do.
Yeah.
So.
Chantelle, you mentioned themes before. What themes are your castles? You said 10, I think it was before. 10?
Yeah, we've got 10. So we've got our generic theme, which has just got the gym's branding, which is great for like corporate events and things like that. And then we've got Bluey, Spider-Man, Frozen, the Wiggles, the Paw Patrol. all the sort of major.
What's the most
major
popular
themes.
one? Is it
I think, well, last year it was a close tie between Paw Patrol and Bluey.
Bluey? Okay.
Yeah, so Bluey's definitely out on top there, which I think that will hold its popularity for a bit longer. Yeah, that's it. But we are going to be getting some new themes by the end of the year. So things like Minecraft. Pokemon has come back on the scene, which is pretty cool. So yeah, there's a lot of great things, and then of course the customizable Happy Birthday theme. Actually, that is also very popular because people love being able to add that little level of customization.
For sure, absolutely.
Yeah, it's good.
But talking about the themes though, that's also one of the good things is that when themes come and go or trends come and go, like when Coco Melon was big or one of these things, those banners we can get them printed pretty quickly. We can keep on top of the trends when they're happening. You're not having to go and buy a whole new castle or having to go and retire a castle because it's no longer relevant. Our castles will continue to stay relevant because we can just keep changing the fronts of them. So, and we've done it for corporate clients where like the schools will go, hey, can you put our logo on the front of the castle? With enough lead time, of course we can. We can have a custom banner made with your logo on it so that you've got your branding on the front of the castle. Our corporate customers love the gyms one because they go, well, we don't want to pick a theme, but we still want it to be branded or it to look professional. So yeah. We can just stay on top of what the changing environment is.
Send us a photo of the gyms on it, a corporate one. That'd be good to put online.
100%.
I know Jim quite enjoyed jumping on it when we had it set up here, so he had a bit of fun on it. It's good for the adults as well.
It certainly is. Yeah.
And I was going to say as well, why you mentioned a bit at the start. There's obviously Facebook operators you mentioned. So why do you think gyms? What's your standard different compared to maybe the Facebook operators? Because as we were saying at the start, I don't think there is any national sort of uniform franchise or brand around it. It's generally a lot of local independents who have just gotten into it somehow, or they've been doing it for a long time. And it's not to disparage them, but it's just the way sort of the industry is going. You know that from your perspective now. So why is gyms better than maybe the Facebook operators in your perspective?
I think the biggest thing is insurance.
Yeah.
We can confidently say that we are fully insured with 20 million public liability and professional indemnity, which is pretty amazing because most operators out there,
they wouldn't have the PI, I don't think. No. They wouldn't have the professional indemnity side of it, no.
No, exactly, that's right. And it's hard to get, particularly now, it's a lot harder to get. So I think that's definitely the biggest thing that sets us apart. But then again, all of our safety standards, the simple fact that our anchor points are well beyond the Australian standard, I think that's a big turning point. And again, the type of anchors that we use, using the anemometers and all of that, it's just, it really instills that confidence.
It's very important, as you said before, the recourse as well. If something, you answer the phone, I think, which is a big thing. People think it's a no-brainer in business, but believe me, I've used I've used some independents and stuff for things before, and you're right. Just being able to answer the phone consistently
and show up.
Exactly.
We've had so many people call us like at the last minute, and poor customers that have been burnt,
really?
Which is just horrible for them. But they said, look, we had someone booked, they didn't show up. They've taken our deposit and all that sort of thing, which is just awful. But we're always there. We'll always help out and do those last minute jobs if we're able to, which most of the time we absolutely are. So
sorry to hear that, because when we did the initial launch video, we obviously had a few independent operators jump up and leave some detailed comments, and I think it's quite ironic, but we try and not go into that area too much to sort of disparage anyone. But you're right, but not rocking up, taking deposits, happens quite a lot, and then whereas with gyms that just cannot happen.
No,
so it's something that customers need to know. It literally cannot happen with gyms, because if that does happen, for example, touch wood, gym will step in, and if he needs to, we have warranty funds, we have all these things which will step in. It literally cannot happen for a customer.
Correct. Yeah. Absolutely. That's it. So again, I think that's what sets us apart. And also the branding, coming back to that, it's a trusted brand. So many people book us and they go, oh yeah, we use Jim's cleaning, or we use Jim's mowing, or all of that sort of thing. And we're like, and then they go, oh, we didn't know it. Did they do jumping castles? But this is great, So
it's good to hear that.
It's been fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's another thing for customers to remember as well. Like, it's so we have to be so tough in customer service because of what you just said. Then if someone has a bad experience with Jim's cleaning or Jim's mowing, they're not going to go to gyms, jumping castles, right? So for us, we have to have that high standard across the board. Whereas with, let's say, more of the Facebook operators, as you said, there's no recourse besides leaving a bad review online, and that's it. They've got nothing to go to. And it was quite funny when I put the video online originally with Jumping Castle with the launch. We had a few independents jump up and down and say, "Jim, what is all this sort of stuff?" And as you would know, people not rocking up, taking deposits and not turning up, it's very common, unfortunately, for people. And then, as we were saying, as you know, with gyms, it just literally, I have to repeat my point again into this, it cannot happen.
No.
Correct. Yeah. Absolutely. No. That's right. Yeah.
So there's too many procedures in place to stop it from happening.
Yeah.
And it's also one of the reasons why we don't take deposits. It also we work on the principle because we have a rainy day guarantee. If it's absolutely torrential and we don't feel it's safe to put it up, I don't want my castles getting wet. You don't want to have a wet party. Yeah. So we all leave as friends and we move it to a different day. So you don't have to feel like, oh, do I leave a deposit? Am I going to get it back? Are they going to show up because it's not because it's raining or whatever? So because we're communicating the whole way through the process.
That's the first I've heard that. So you've got a rainy day guarantee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
we do. So if it's really bad weather, we keep in contact with the customer. If they want to postpone to a different date, we're very happy to do that. Or in some instances, they might just cancel altogether, which, is fine. It just means that we then get a weekend off, or we've always got so much work on that it's not, it's not a big deal. But yeah, that again just instills that faith, I think, in customers, knowing that it's, that they don't need to stress about all the things.
How's the feeling been from you? Because you've worked, obviously, as well, jobs previously compared to what you were doing as your own boss. How was that transition, or how was the different mindset shift for that?
So, well, for me personally, I mean, this is my first sort of business, like being in my own business, and it's been incredibly rewarding. Like, I don't think I would have pictured myself actually being a business owner beforehand, because I've always just worked full-time and for somebody else. But yeah, the transition has been amazing, just being able to have that flexibility, feeling like, it's something of my own that, I've got full control over, and all of that has been really great. And again, just bringing joy to people is just amazing. So,
from your perspective, Billy?
For me, I play a lot more golf.
Yeah.
But the working for yourself, I like the fact that I can see that I can do more with this than what came in the box. I like the fact that if I can grow this, I suppose that's the thing with everyone who's in business. We all want to make more money. We all want to be bigger. We all want to be able to deliver that next big product or that next exciting thing. And I can do that in this division because, it literally is, as new technologies come out and new jumping castles and new things come, we will continue to keep offering new things, So I'm looking forward to, I've actually really enjoyed seeing the growth in taking it from 3 castles to having like 10 castles and then growing just exponentially. It's so rewarding. And just, getting your text messages with your reviews from your customers, it's good.
Yeah, and I love hearing that. And you're right, what you said about the expansion. Like, a lot of people think with gyms there might be restrictions in place and stuff. There's not. So you can do whatever you want. And I think with party high, it's such a general term. Party high can mean anything what you could do. You could do, who knows what, under that you could do VR stuff. Who knows what you could do?
100%.
Absolutely, yeah. And we've had some really cool ideas from people that have shown interest in coming on board, and it's amazing, and that's what it's all about. It's just being able to share those ideas and grow our presence, and it'd be great.
You get to buy toys that you get to play with. You get to rent them out.
I think that's your most.
You can say that, and the business expenses as well.
Expense.
Yeah, so everything's a business expense now as a toy. So that's a really good one.
Exactly.
But guys, thank you very much for your time today. So congratulations on getting married as well.
Thank you.
If someone wants to learn more about being a franchisee or get in touch with you guys for a quote, what do they need to do?
So call 131-546 and get in touch. We'll call you back straight away and take you through the whole process. Send our information pack, and we're always available for any questions that anyone has.
I think it's a great division, and I think plug for a franchise is all there. The unserviced leads with just you guys really running pretty much and generating all that unserviced work from the start of the year is quite amazing. So it's an absolutely, I reckon it's a great untapped market for people to get into, and obviously people listening to you today, hopefully you can hear the joy in your voice and just how relaxed and happy you seem doing it, which is great to see as well. So thank you very much for your time today, and hopefully people jump on gyms.net and 131-546, and thank you for listening today to the podcast.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.